Well, following that assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump and reports of the U.S. Secret Service stonewalling any congressional investigation, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer issued a subpoena to Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle, demanding that she publicly testify next week. Now, despite the catastrophic failure of the Secret Service, Director Cheadle has said she will not resign. But reports indicate she will comply with the chairman's subpoena. What questions might the House Republicans be asking next week as this investigation moves forward? Well, joining me now to discuss this, Congressman Pete Sessions. He serves on the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability. He represents the 17th Congressional District of Texas. Congressman Sessions, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Tony, thank you very much. It's an exciting time here in the air in Milwaukee, and very excited to be with you.
Well, let's jump into what's going to be on Capitol Hill next week. Congress has been out this week as the Republicans have been gathered in Milwaukee. But next week, first thing on the agenda for the House Oversight Committee is going to be this hearing into the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump on this past Saturday. Catch us up to speed on activity from the House Oversight Committee. There's been a number of phone calls and conference calls going on during this week. What can you tell us right now, and what questions will you be seeking answers to next week?
Tony, thank you very much. You saw Senator Cruz allude to what was a bipartisan, bicameral opportunity for us to hear directly from not just the Secret Service, but the FBI. The FBI director was on, Christopher Wray, and there was direct discussion that they had with us. We did not have with them because it was really there as an update. I found the update. We took notes, and we're going to hold them to what they said, but in fact, it did not really get into the issues that I would be interested in specifically. Number one, the special agent in charge who is there on site and running the program. What was their countdown to making sure that things were okay? Because we now understand from probably 5 or 6 minutes in towards the president, there were discoveries or information that should have moved upstream or to that person saying before the president went on, everything is okay. And I don't know whether it was a physical communication problem. I don't know whether it was a breakdown, but I think it was a leadership issue that we need to know. What did they not do that would allow them, moments before the president would go on to say all points clear? Now, in the aggregate, we are interested in how could someone get 130 yards with a sniper rifle with what was plenty of law enforcement, and him simply climb up on this building 130 yards away when everyone else saw him. So these are the open questions that happen. Overall, you and I both know we have a problem, or believe we have a problem, with being able to make sure that they have the workforce, that they have the manpower, that they have the attention to the job which they perform. But I will tell you, this will not be something that will be swept under the rug. There is no easy answer, and the head of the Secret Service and the head of the FBI are both going to have to answer the question, because we need to know, was there an international plot that was brewing that we have heard about in the media? We need to hear it point blank from Director Wray. That was an overlay to that should have told them that there was a professional that could be hunting the president, not a 20-year-old amateur. So much to be looked at.
There are many questions to ask, many answers to seek, specifically related to the assassination attempt. But stepping back, Congressman Sessions, when you look at a pattern that's emerged from this administration over the last 3.5, almost 4 years, you see you saw in the Department of Transportation, you've seen it with the FAA, you've seen it in different agencies, you've seen it in our military as woke ideology and DEI has become really the focus rather than the mission. And I think in this case, what we've seen, the American people have seen what happens when your mission becomes secondary to what you do as an agency.
Tony, you've hit the nail on the head. This DEI issue, which has been long discussed now by Republicans, that I took a shot at them in government reform and oversight just about a month ago, where I said, what good does DEI do if people are not qualified, if they cannot properly perform the duties? And of course, they could not answer that. They are more interested in who's in the room, not their abilities to effectively perform. We have seen this over and over with this administration, who they have on any given day, Tony, non-military, non-law enforcement, less than 35% of government workers going to work on any particular day. They like to say, well, the standard is 40. They cannot even meet 20 on most days. The Ronald Reagan building in Washington, D.C., the largest government building, has less than 20% that go less than once a week. And they don't dispute any of these facts. They won't give us their own. And this is where we are. Something else is more interested. What is that, Tony? I'm going to say it. They're more interested in a man being in a woman's locker room than they are about the safety, security, and jobs in this country.
That's what they focus on. They focus on, I mean, they're running on it. They focus on abortion.
That's what they talk about.
It is what they talk about. And as we see, the wheels are coming off as a result of that. But I want to go back before we run out of time. So explain why they're not showing up to work. Is this still a hangover from COVID, that they just feel like they can't make their workforce come in?
Tony, I worked for AT&T for 16 years. If the chairman of the board of AT&T or president was more interested in worker rights than AT&T's performance, we would be in trouble. That is what this president of the United States is. He's more interested in workers being happy, finding excuses for them, and ways in which they do not have to perform their duties as a team. It is a terrible drop-off of the ability that this government has that we really first started seeing with passport distribution. We've seen it at the IRS, and yet what they want to do is hire 80,000 more employees, but not even get the ones that they've got with a requirement to come to work. Incredible. It is a mismatch. So, Tony, you are asking the questions. We could go on and on about the investigations we've done. And by and large, on a bipartisan basis, we've held hearings, and the Democrats agree too. They are appalled, except this administration and other Democrats continue pushing the narrative. DEI is more important than outcome.
Incredible. Well, the country can't survive long.
Well, this will be their downfall. This will be their downfall. And we didn't even talk about the border, and we didn't even talk about inflation, and we didn't talk about spending. It is a different way to look at the success of this nation. And here at this convention, we are confronted with socialists. Right. They hate the word capitalism. They hate the word success. And in this place, this is what we're doing. Listen, say hi to Kelly Shackelford, my dear friend from Dallas, Texas.
We'll do, and we'll get you back to talk about that other laundry list of items. Congressman Pete Sessions, always great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tony. You bet.